Oh man, I love my job. I get to play around with awesome things like this all day. This is the 4,030 pound J Feather Micro 171 BH. 4,030 pounds is a little bit heavier than you'd expect on a single axle, but it's also on a big heavy duty axle, has amazing Goodyear Wrangler tires, double Azdel construction in the walls, so there's not wood in the sidewalls basically, and it's also like, it's a little bit wider, it's a little bit bigger, it has full-size camper features packed down into a single axle package. That's what this one is right here. And these very often get compared very heavily against a Rockwood Geo Pro, which we also carry here at Haylett. So we're very well qualified to give you an A-B comparison between them, and they both do some remarkably good things. But this is sort of like an in-betweener. It's like if somebody took a Rockwood Mini Lite and squished it down closer to the size of a Geo Pro. That's what this is right here. Like if you've looked at the 19 BH Geo, but you need a little more size or something like that, that's where this one might come in handy. Or if a Mini Lite is a little too heavy for you, this one might work out. Or you might look at this and go, I don't need all that. Well, that's where you might want to look at, say, either the 19 BH Geo Pro, there's the 16 BHS Wolf Pup, the 174 BH J-Flight SLX. There's all kinds of people that make floor plans like this, and they're all really cool in different ways, and that's what I want to do here. I want to go through and show you where it really shines and maybe where it falls short in a couple places, and let's see if this is the right one for you. And as we go, please, please, leave me some feedback. Let me know, what did they do that you really like? What would you like to see change? Any questions you have, something I didn't answer? And as always, we leave you a link in the video description where you can check the pricing and availability at any time without ever needing to call anybody. And if you appreciate little handy stuff like that, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Let's get jumped in here. Jumped in here? Dug in here? Let's go. And I'm probably going to refer back to this like 1,000 times to this video because it's a major quality within this RV. And that is that it's a little bit bigger than a lot of single axle trailers, especially in this class, these things that flirt with like, not totally off-road, but like some off the beaten path, if that makes a difference. Not quite the same thing. In that it's a 6.5 foot tall ceiling. It's a 7.5 foot wide body. This is the view from the dinette, by the way, so if you take a seat at the table, this is kind of what you're going to look at. I don't know. I've started doing that this year. What do you guys think of that? I kind of like, I think, seeing the point of view that you're going to get when you're actually in one of these things here. Especially since the way that the entertainment is set up on this one, the TV can pivot over toward the dining table where we're at right now, but it's on a swing arm, obviously. It can also just as easily pivot over toward the headboard area of the bed. Now, you see Mr. Mike outside there. He's doing some proactive quality control for us. I actually snuck in here before he could even get to this thing. One of the major things to point out on this RV, though, there was a lot of confusion about it last year because Jayco kind of had some conflicting stats out there, is the bed size. And I try to point that stuff out where I can, try to save you the trouble of asking so that, you can shop a little smarter right from here. The headboard throws people off, but remember it's 7.5 foot wide. That means they have room for a headboard and an 80-inch long bed. Now, this bed could be described as two ways. It could be described as a skinny queen, like RuPaul, or it could be described as a long full, because it's 54 wide, which is a little more narrow than a true queen, but it's a true 80-inch length, which I know a lot of people are going to like. Now, the original generation of this just had a couple drawers here, and since then, the Feather Micros have adopted these awesome little cube jobs. Take a look at this. So they're storage, they can slide out. You could take them out of there. You could have a perfect place for like a little pet palace down there, something like that. And those things can handle the seating weight of an adult. So if you actually want to sit on that and use them like chairs, you absolutely can. And because this does have that linear 6.5 foot interior height, it's not a super vaulted roof, that means that they're able to do things like square up some more cabinets and give you some more functional storage space. Also, are you noticing up here? You're getting one of those big XL vent fans in this floor plan. It's not in the bathroom. It's here in the living room space, and this RV does not use frameless windows. The idea is that this RV is built to provide maximum potential airflow for you, and it has its own dedicated, like, single room, the smaller 4-inch blade fan back there in the bathroom. Now, if you want a bigger fan back in the bathroom, that's an easy upgrade. But look at this just ridiculously oversized picture window right here. That is one of those things with the wider body and the lighter colors. It just totally explodes the size of this camper for me. Now, this is all pocket screwed cabinetry. Let me give you just a quick little peek in there. You can see that big privacy shade you can pull down. And of course, the dinette can fold down into a sleeper. The storage below the dinette is also a nice touch so that you don't have to, well, not just storage, but doors for easier access. Night knows she's carpetless, she's ventless, she is about as easy cleaning as they come right here. And remember, with this being just a little bit wider than the average bear, that does mean that you have a little bit bigger dinette right there. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it's like a big 4-adult dinette, but if you have a grown-up on each side and a little on each side, you're going to be good. Not to mention, check out this secret little weapon that you can pull out in this one. If it's a rainy day and you're all just stuck inside, you need every ounce of seating you can get. Remember, you can kind of lounge on the bed. You could put those cubes across the front of the bed if you want people to sit there instead of on your bedding. But you can kind of use it like a classical Jayco feature. Some older J-Flights used to have an extendable dining arrangement. And I think that is potentially not something you're going to use every day. And obviously, there's no table directly in front of it. It's a bit of a reach. But if we're all sitting there playing a board game or something, I don't know. I think I could make that work. Now, while we're taking a look at the sleeping space, let's go ahead and just mosey on over here to the bunk area. Couple key details. First, I'm going to wrap you around the corner so that you have an expectation and you're not getting motion sick. Myself and my mother, we're always been very sensitive to things like that, so I try to consider things like, hey, let's be cool with the camera and not make everybody throw up watching these. Household and USB outlets for each bed. Each of these bunks is rated for 300 pounds. Each of the bunks has their own individual privacy curtain. That upper bunk has that nice little handle to get you up there. And that is a breeze-through window in that top bunk. Now, it's not a breeze window down here because that is a cargo bunk kind of function, which is very interesting because we actually have a lot of people who take home copies of models like this, whether it's Cherokee or Jayco makes a couple of versions of it, Rockwood, whoever. They're like, it's just me. I just need a lot of cargo space in a little camper. Now we've got this one outfitted with the factory solar package, which does have the 30 amp charge controller right here. So if you wanted to add some additional panels, that 30 amp controller, chances are you could probably flood the roof of this thing and run out of real estate, you know. And where that's really going to be handy is if you do want to off-grid and you're looking at one like this. Standard, this camper has a 6 cubic foot gas electric fridge freezer. What we're looking at here is the 8.7 cubic foot 12 volt DC compressor fridge. It'll use more battery power when you're off-grid, but again, you have the ability, the way that we've got it built here, it'll be a good extended camp package. Or, again, you could probably add some more panels here if you felt like it up on that roof, because it's an all plywood decking walkable roof. And you could give yourself some more extended time, plus a portable panel, before you even start to look at things like a little portable inverter generator. Now, we've talked about the fridge, but a couple other notes over here on the kitchen station. I'll tell you something I actually personally dislike. And that is, I think they did too much here. I think that they could have stuck with a 2-burner stovetop instead of a 3. And I think they would have added some very handy countertop space, especially when both the sink and the stove are being used. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not the world's biggest kitchen. I'm not expecting Wolfgang Puck to come in here and put on a buffet for me. But I think you get the idea. I think you get what I'm saying. Now, we talked about the options with the refrigerator. Let's talk about a couple other options out here. The microwave. We're looking at the standard microwave right now. There is a convection microwave option as well. Additionally, this is kind of interesting to me. Despite all of that drawer space down there below the countertop, Jayco is not currently offering a gas oven option in these. And I know that's going to be a big deal. And I would like if you're like, hey, that works for me, or if that doesn't work for me. Either way, leave me some comments and let me know what you think about that, and we can relay that feedback back to the factory. Here in the Midwest, we don't have a lot of calls for ovens, but I know my southern cousins, you like your cookies and biscuits in the morning, and frankly, who doesn't like cookies and biscuits in the morning? It's not that you're the only ones that like cookies and biscuits, it's just that in the North, we don't tend to cook them as often in the morning, you know? I think that a gas oven option would be welcomed by a lot of folks. Now, the bathroom in here is, I think, one of the areas where they really flexed their 7.5 foot wide muscles. The toilet space was adequate, but a real sink, like a real full bathroom. A lot of times when you're in little campers like this, if you get a sink in the bathroom, all you get is like that little plastic corner thing that's built into the shower, which is better than nothing. And remember that normal 6.5-foot interior plus the skylight being located right there means that even if you're taller like me, you still have good headroom in here. Now, pardon the pink Kool-Aid in the bottom. It's not that I spilled my drink this morning, my Hug Juice barrel. That's antifreeze. Jayco does ship every single RV, not just with the lines blown out, but actually with antifreeze run through everything, even in the summertime in case the RV sits here a while. And I don't know that we saw them, but it would be remiss of me not to mention the Drunken Octopus Fight Club coat hangers. Also good for towels. Now, something else I think is really cool in here. You see all those lights running? Take note of something. As I whip our way around the front here, you notice how there's absolutely no battery on it? The RV's parked in the middle of our driveway. You'll see as we walk around, there's nothing hooked up. My battery box is not hooked up. Those lights are running basically live off the solar package of this RV. Now, it's not gonna run your refrigerator and your awnings and stuff like that, but if you just need to hop in, check the, check everything out real quick, it's kind of cool. You don't even really gotta juice it up. Now, speaking of juice and batteries and all that stuff, something that occurs to me I forgot to talk about until just now is the fact that that TV that we looked at, that is 12 volt, by the way. So if you are doing a little bit of boondocking, she can power you up. Now, next to that light over there is a battery disconnect, and I like how they shoved it up in the corner. It's away from shifting cargo. Because, I don't know about you, like my wife is, she can pack a car like she's playing a Tetris Grandmaster level sort of game. She's incredible. I just, don't. I just shove stuff in there and I hope for the best, and when it doesn't fit, I just kind of monkey it around until I can hopefully make it fit. You can imagine what my desk looked like in elementary school, I'm sure. Just like I bet my daughter is the same way. My daughter is just a little mini me. I love her to death. She's my best friend. But wow, I can absolutely see how I would grind my parents' gears sometimes. Now, the RV, the walls are a double Azdel laminated structure. So the idea there is, if you're not familiar with Azdel as compared to common Luan wood paneling in a wall lamination, it is lighter weight. It is more sound dampening. It has a little bit better kind of R value, by the way, a little bit better in that regard. Not massively. I'm not telling you, oh, it's a monster 4-seasons camper. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some good weather stuff that this one has in a second. But over here, this does have all the J Feather micros. Even if they don't have a camp kitchen, they all come with a Blackstone and this little mount and next to the propane cooker, hooker, all that stuff. And you're going, yeah, well, where is it? Dummy, why don't you put it out for display? They are, at the time of this filming, short on them. So if you buy, like, say, this specific trailer from this RV or any Jayco that's short on a Blackstone right now, you get a little voucher, fill it out, send it in. As soon as they're available, Blackstone will send it straight to you. We're going to talk a little bit more about this different kind of ladder when we hop up to the roof. What I want to mention, though, is it looks like the backup camera prep has been wasted. The good news, I've actually tested this. If you put a camera on the back of it, it actually peeks right through those ladder rungs. Not a problem. Now, the RV has turn signal safety lighting and reverse lighting, and you have a sewer hose caddy down here you can see kind of hanging out at the bottom. 4-corner stabilizer jacks as well. And you see the little Nerf bars. I'm just gonna call those like brush guards. It's funny. There's a sticker right on them that says, "Don't stand on these." The guy who designed the J Feathers, you know the first thing he did? He stood on it, showed me how proud he was. And the cargo bunk door, I specifically wanted to show you this with the bunks still in the down position, because Jayco's done something here that I really like. First of all, this is a really good angle. Angle? I don't know what that is, but I know this is a good angle to see how nice and thick these are. But secondly, easy lift, latch, one hand function. You don't have to wrestle the mattress. You don't have to do anything. And notice over here, you have that cargo netting space, so that if you want to be able to get to it from the inside or the outside, you can. You have 4 tie downs for some cargo back here, which is a nice touch. Even a specific cargo light back here. It's the details that really shock me on this. That's why it's not the least expensive. It's not the lightest weight little single axle camper you've ever seen. And in case you're curious about security, remember you do have a dead bolting door, and this is anti-slam. So if I do the Miss Piggy,
Well, Kermie, it doesn't go bang against the wall.
By the way, Frank Oz, he voiced both Miss Piggy and Yoda, which is why it sounds like Miss Piggy can use the Force, Luke. Oh man, the windows. That is one of the things this does so well. That giant dinette overlook window is just absurdly awesome. Now the tires. Let's talk about tires and undercarriage and all that. How about the fact that we are riding on Goodyear Wrangler tires? That's a truck tire. It's crazy. And this is one of the things I think is very, very special about these. All Jayfeather Micros have an enclosed underbelly. That is almost completely unheard of in the single axle camper market. It's such a rare feature. Another thing you can do that we like to do on ours here at Haylett's is option these with the tank heaters on them to give you even more weather capability. Now, Jayco hasn't tested these. I can't tell you, I can't guarantee it's 0 to 100 degree rated, which is my own kind of personal qualification for something is 4 seasons or not. I really don't like that phrase, but everybody knows what that means. I can tell you that in the world of little campers, I don't know that I can find you one that's gonna do better. You may have also noticed next to that water heater, we have a black tank flush and full outside utility shower. We have a simple side mount solar prep plug up on the nose next to the double propane tanks with auto changeover regulator. Again, a tandem axle feature not often found in single axle campers. And that's what I mean when I say that it's like somebody took a full-size travel trailer and squished it down into a single axle and just got rid of all the fluff stuff. And it's just all thriller, no filler. Now, a couple notes for you up here on the roof. Obviously, it's walkable. I'm up this thing. You may have noticed a different ladder on the back of this camper. It's interesting because one of the things you can do if you wanted is like mount a kayak rack or like a bike rack or something up here. This is a plywood deck. Jayco calls it Magnum Truss roof system. Has the heaviest load rating of anything I've ever seen in this class. I think that's one of those things that kind of goes hand in hand with their longer warranty, you know. But that ladder, it's 300-pound rated versus 2 to 250 like you find on a lot of things. It's also removable, so if you want to take it off the back wall completely, you can. Maybe a little security thing. Maybe there's a kid running around the campsite. You don't want them climbing around your camper. I've seen crazier things. I don't blame the kid. Obviously, they've just been allowed to do that, and it'd be better if they didn't do it on our campsite. But what we're looking at here, a couple cool things. We've got where my hand is right now, that's that big living room like XL vent fan. What's awesome is it's already kind of pre-prepped if you want to put a vent lid cover on it so that like any rain can't get in, but you want to keep the fan running. There's already the little cleats right there if you notice, those little bumps. So you can do that without having to screw into anything. And then again, what we're looking at here is the what's it called? Overlander package. 190 watt roof panel, the 30 amp charge controller. And you haven't heard me say the word inverter yet. The solar package does not have a factory inverter, but every single Jayco laminated trailer, even these tiny little Jayfeather minis, they are micros, yeah. Rockwood does a mini, Jayco does a micro. Messes me up because Flagstaff also does a thing called a micro, which is the same as a Rockwood mini. And now you know why I'm like this. But what I was getting at is every single Jayco laminated trailer is prepped and ready for an inverter. And I think in this little camper, it would run pretty much every single household outlet. So this is, I think, a really good fit for somebody who has, say, a solid tow package SUV or a mid-sized tow package pickup like a tow package Tacoma or Colorado Ranger, something like that. I always miss a couple, but you get the idea, something in that class. You don't necessarily have to go all the way up to a half ton, although anything bigger than those, you definitely jerk this thing around no problem without any sort of concerns. It's going to ride and handle very nicely for you on those kind of vehicles. Maybe it's got more than you need. Maybe you're looking for really high class, but you don't need something large, you know? There's all sorts of different campers, and they don't all fit every single person, and that's why we carry so many things at Haylett's. And that's why we take the time to show you, kind of like I said, where they fly and where they fall. So let me know where you think they nailed it, where you think they failed it. Leave us a couple comments, and when you're ready, we're family owned and operated. We don't do hidden dealer fees. Man, we'd love the chance to work with you. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.